Let's go ahead and import our reference image. And so I normally have a good practice. I'm deleting the cube. The good practice I normally do is I ensure I'm in front view. I hit numpad 1 to be in front view. Then just a matter of me dragging and dropping this here now. Drag and drop my reference image. And select this. Can scale it up more. So then come to the top view on part 7, then drag it to the back like this. Then while I have it selected here, just hit M, put it in a new collection, name this reference. Hit number 1 back. So this approach now that I'm about to show us now is like, imagine when we're in primary school, when we need to get something done, right? We are just tracing over it. Like instead of drawing the thing, we just use photocopy carbon paper to trace over it. So something very similar to this. But this time around, we'll be using mesh, but we'll be starting off with a simple mesh, very flat mesh. And to do that, we do Shift A, mesh plane. So this plane now we only have four sides. And once this happens, come here. Don't click any other. Just come to this. Ensure you click on this. Then choose this align. Choose align to world view to have it face this way. Now this is what we want to build now. I want to, because this is flat. This method now is what I term flat approach, where you just imagine this these symbols now, right? Is just like a decorative element on the wall. So that's what we want to have. That's what we want to build. So to a large extent, it just being flat is okay. We don't really need it to be rounded. It's just meant to be like a piece of art that is placed on the wall that is flat. So this approach is good, and this is like the simplest way to get into this whole thing. But this time around, if I come here, if I hit tab, you can see this only just have 4 vertices, and that's the basis, like the basic of what we are doing. Later on, we'll progress to that. So the next thing I need to do, so I'm in edit mode. I just hit tab to edit mode. I click on this key here. So first off, now I want to build. It makes more sense for me to build this tail, right? Will be of different plane. We can join everything, but it makes more sense for me to have a different part. This plane should be then this the body here should be different parts, the head should be different parts, then the fin here should also be different parts. So and I want to start with the body here. So a very good thing I normally do is that first off I need to do what is called scale to proportion before, like I'm starting off somewhere here, right? So I need to scale it down to something very close to what I have, and also rotate it as much as possible because this is also rotated this way. So rotate it as much as possible. So I'm scaling it down. I think this is okay. Then R to rotate it to something like this. I think this is okay. And mind you, I'm in front view while doing this. Because if you're not in, if you're in some other view, once you are doing all this rotation, it may start going out and being skewed. So I think this is reasonably okay. So I can hit Ctrl A first, apply my scale, then tab to enter edit mode. Then I can select this now and S scale them down this way. then I can afford to then use my move to grab. So at each point in time, I try not to just two. I'll just be following the contour. I'm using two. I'll be ensuring I have two, and this is the fourth one already established here, right? So at each point in time, I'll just be following the contour of the. I think this is rather too large. I also try not because what I'm doing here now, with what I'm doing here, I can as well have said, okay, from here to here, I could have as well just started from something like this and start. I could have done that, which may probably work, but many times I try. Then there are some other extra contours that I'm losing here. So the extra contours because if you check, there's like a curve happening here. So let me Control Z on that. So I try whenever I'm doing because I later on I will need to extrude. You know what? I'll explain that better. Let's just get this G, or I can use this tool now to move. Now I'm using this other. This is like use moving them on the two axes at the same time. It will work because I'm in orthographic view. If I'm in perspective view, things will just go wonky. Just be mindful of that. So here, this way, take this way. Yeah, mind you, and it doesn't have to be like 100%. It doesn't have to. This is we just using that as a reference. So at the end of the day, to look something close to this. So once I have these two selected, the next thing I need to do is to hit E. This the face selected E to extrude them this way. Then that means I can scale both of them to have them this way, or I could have as well just selected one after the other and move them like this. Again, you see that from here to here, you can see I think I'm beginning to like go too much up. Makes more sense for me to backtrack a bit like this. Move this way. E to extrude, then S to scale up this way. Then E again, extrude. Then I click first to establish this, then I S scale this way. Then I can drag this like this. Then E again to extrude. Then S to scale up. E again to extrude. I'm going to realize I've been losing some of the contours here, the curvature happening here. So I need to come here, move this down this way the more. Possibly move this down this way the more. Then select this E to extrude. E to extrude. Then you can see after here now there is like the here start curving in. You know what, let me make this much more correct this way. Make this much more correct this way. Then once I have these two, then E to extrude. this way, but I'll need to scale this in this way like this. Yeah, so this is what we have now. So I'm panning now, hitting my middle mouse button, pan to be in the perspective view. So this is what we have. So this is more like the stomach. We've defined the stomach. And once we hit tab to come to object mode, this is what we have. And outside of this, so you can see. So with this now, it's just like we've done like what's called image tracing, right? We just follow the contour. So this is one way to go at something like this. So we can do that for the rest here also. So it's a matter of adding on that cube or plane rather. You can use cube, but cube, once you do that later on, you have, because this one now at each point in time it give us four and we're only just manipulating two vertices. But once you add a cube, it becomes a bit more complicated. So once I have this selected, I can come here and hit M, put it in a new collection, call it fish. So I have it in this. So once this is selected here now, I can hit Shift A, add mesh, plane. And remember, once I'm still in this view, I'm in orthographic view. So I can come here and hit view. So it's rotates it to this view. Then I can drag it this way, then S, scale it down to fit something like this. Then tab, I'm hitting tab to be in tab to be in edit mode. Then I hit toggle X-ray. But before now, I could as well have done rotate it this way first, then scale it down the more. I think this is okay. Then this other one I can do them. I think I have blocked out the shape this way. Then remember Control A, scale, apply scale, then tab to object mode, then taking this here, because if you watch there's a curve here, so that means this first one here, there's a curve, how to achieve that curve. So that means this first one is a little bit smaller, so I'm hitting S, goes in this way, you can see something like this, then it shoots out this way. So I think this is good enough to capture, or I can still scale it in more. I think this is good enough to capture that curvature. Yes, so with this now I can hit E now, extrude more. Yeah, this is good. Mind you, this method is not like the best, but it's just to like give you, is like the easiest way to, well, for me the way I understood this thing, and from there it acts as a building block for every other thing that I needed to learn. So I can extrude this now, then E, and extrude it to this point. So we have like three this thing coming here. So you can find this face here, there's another face here, there's another face here, right? So that means we need a loop cut. So and to bring down the loop cut, Control R and give it another one, because we need three. Once I click this, establish this, click to establish, So that means we can just have this selected, that one and this one, both of them selected that way. Then we can hit extrude, or you can come here now and just have, as you can see, just this one, this face here selected alone. Then hit E to bring this out this way, or E like this, then S to scale it down more a little bit, S scaling down this way, then E, no, Control Z and then escape, then E to bring out the more this way, then another E to just, I think I can afford to expand it to this point, then S, scale it down, then E down this way, then S to keep scaling down. But somewhat, I think this place goes up this way, something like this. So I just raise it up this way, like this. Then if you check, I think the edge here is kind of pointed. So if that's the case, we can come here, then reduce this way. So it gives you that idea of it being pointed. Well, that's how I interpreted that, but that may not be it. You may as well just leave it this way also. So we need to, you can see this starts here, but our line is here. So what do we do now? So it's a matter of coming to this, click on this, or click on this, then GG to grab, have it this way, to align it this way. Then this one should act, we should use this to when we start acting on it. But as you can see, they say this line, there is a face that runs from here, it starts from here. So we don't want to affect this, so it's good for us to just leave this, right? This will act as a demarcator between this that we're about to create and this one. So it makes more sense for us to add on that loop, though it's 3, but so we need 1, then it ends, this will act as it ends here, then another 2, then we have another one in between that marks as okay, the contour, the face ends, and another one. So it makes more sense for us to Control R again, hit this, then push it to something like this. Then click again. Then remember, I'm in this edge mode here, so I can select this now and E to have this way, to have this way. I think here there is, you can see it, there's a contour that ends here. Once it gets here, everything starts becoming smaller, so we can leave it here, click here, then S to scale it down this way. And mind you, I'm using this as a guide. I'm not, I shouldn't, it's not like I need to get it 100%. Then E, extrude it out this way, then S to scale it down. I think I can bring it out more this way, then E again to something like this, scale it down, S to scale it down. Okay, I think this is okay. Then E again to have this, then S for something like this. Then I can afford to scale the select this and scale it out the more. Yeah, something of this nature. Not 100% close to it, but something of that nature. So this one, I think I'm holding Alt to select this loop here now. Alt and click, Alt click to select this loop. So I can hit G and G to drag this out this way. After a second thought, like you can see there's this gap here. I think, but for this one in the beginning here, there's no much gap. So this extra loop that I added here, to a large extent, I don't, maybe for this one, based on my interpretation and my art direction, maybe for this one it works. But for this one now, I don't think it really works. So I can Control G, holding Alt and select Alt and click to select this loop. I can delete it, but to delete it, once I hit X, then I go to dissolve and not just delete, dissolve edges. So I can afford to select all of this now so that it will just, come out of this straight. Then E to extrude, yeah, this way. I think this works better. Then I can S a bit like this. Come to vertex mode. I think still raise this up this way. Yeah, something like this. Then E. Then have both of them selected, and E again. So if you've noticed, to the way I could as well have them both selected in vertex mode, or once I come to this mode now, to this edge mode, they are both selected already. So I can scale this down, then possibly E again, then scale this down the more like this. So something like this, right? Like you can see, like it's not like totally 100%. Didn't follow it 100%. I can come here and start tweaking all of this to make it, maybe make it look, but it's just to get the contour. That's the most important thing here. So you can come for the face. So you can name this tail. You can name this body. So once you are there, hit Shift A, mesh, plane. Again, it adds it. We can't see it because it's flat. So we need to click on this view. Then we can bring this way. Then S to scale down. Before we go to the head, let's just do this, the wings here, or the fin, whatever this is. So let's just do that first. Then later on we'll come to the head. So at least you have done some practicing, because the head is just a little bit complicated compared to this one. So we are here now. Then S, then R. Now, for instance, I was mistakenly selecting my reference image, which is not what I want to select. In order to avoid that ensure that I don't have it selected, all I need to come to this filter, click on this, then click on this, so that will give me the option of selecting or not. So once I have that selected, you can see it gives me this option. So I can see this one now and click on this to deactivate its selection. So with this now, I'm scrolling in, then I think this is about it, for in terms of the proportion. Then we can do the rest in edit mode. So once I'm here now, I hit tab to enter edit mode. So I can bring this way, bring this down. Okay, no, yeah, bring this down this way. But that means there needs to be another loop here that will be able to raise this up this way. If you check. But before then, let's just capture the look of this. So this is where it goes. So we can afford to. So once I do that, it will add an extra cut here. Vertex here that I will start manipulating, but let's leave that for now. So we need to hit E, then bring this way, then scale it downward like this. Yeah, so E, S, scale it down, then E again, click, scale it down, Ctrl Z, escape, Ctrl Z on that. S first to scale it down, then E, bring it out this way, then S to scale it down, and that, then E again, so scale it down this way. So before we go to the head, let's just add bevel and let's add bevel and extrusion on all of this. So there are two ways to give this depth. Let me make this invisible for now. There are two ways to give this depth. So since we have this as our basic shape, right, we can come to, which is as a modifier, come to modifier, come here, give it solidify, generate, then solidify. Then we now need to give it the thickness. So with this gives it, so you can see what I mean by flat. So this gives this flat looking depth. So which can actually which can work. Like let's say imagine you have this on the wall. So give this, or another way is that it's still the same thing. It's just that this one you can always have control over this. This gives us control modifier, right? Or another way is that once you have all of this selected, we hit tab to be in edit mode, be in face mode, or whichever we got. More so in face mode. Then hit A to have everything selected. Once everything is selected, right, you hit E to extrude. Now before time we're extruding based on those points and edges, right? Now I want to extrude the whole face now. So you hit E to extrude them, bring it out this way. So this does the same thing that this one was doing, but it's just that with this now we have to a large extent permanently defined this shape to be like this. But with this solidify, we can always go back to say, what, we want to remove this solidify, and we come back to our this thing. So that's another way to approach this. So let's also give depth to this. Can do that with the solidify modifier. So what this is 35. .35. Oh, that's too much. So you can imagine we're having the same modifier on this, whereas with this one is so you can see the difference how they are responding so much differently on the same modifier. Somewhere we might have not applied our scale in one of them after scaling it then down, after scaling them down, after using it to block our shape. So that's why what is actually causing this now. So we can just bring this down this way. So we can just add a bevel modifier to this now. So once we still have this selected, just generate bevel. So it's looking a bit jagged here, but take this to like 2 or 3. Yeah, so take this to like 2 or 3. Take this to like 2 or 3. Anytime it doesn't really make any difference here, but with this now, once you do shade smooth, yeah, it's hold shift and click on the neck. Shift A to add a plane. Align to view. And remember, I'm in front view. S to scale it down. S to scale it down. Drag it to position it again. Rotate it to fit. Tap to enter into edit mode, but remember to apply your scale before entering into edit mode. Select vertex mode, select these 2 vertices and scale down. Select this other 2 and move up. By now you must have gotten a hang over this. Again, we are just using this plane to trace the contour of our reference. E to extrude. It is just a repetitive process of E to extrude. Use the various points to trace the reference image properly. At this point, I am carefully defining the shape at the edge here. At the time, I became unsure about how the head should look like as a whole. I needed to dig out my reference image once again to look at it holistically. This is something you may run into sometimes. I would like to align all the vertices so they are straightened at this mouth. To do that, I hit S for scale, then X to scale them on the x-axis, then 0. That is S, X, 0. Ctrl A, apply scale, add a solidify modifier, increase the thickness. Another way to achieve this is having all the faces selected and extrude them out. Again, another way to achieve this is having all the faces selected and extrude out. Add a subdivision surface. There are not enough supporting edge loops, so the subdivision surface is shrinking it too much. Increase the levels, it helps a bit. While in the object mode, right click, shade smooth. We will come back to the head later. Back to the fin, Shift A, add a plane, align it to view. S to scale it down. Place it properly. R to rotate. S to scale it down a bit more. Ctrl A, apply scale. Tap to enter into edit mode. Here another routine of extruding the two vertices and positioning them to follow the contour of the reference. Instead of creating this other one from scratch, I duplicated one and used it. Since this is to be used as a game asset, I can do away with some of these edge counts here, and I do that by selecting the edge, then hit X, then select dissolve edges. I dissolved a couple of others. I dissolved more edges because without them, the shape is still defined. My aim here is not to capture the exact reference. The reference is just a mere guide, and without those extra details, the fins are still looking good. Back to the head, disable the solidify modifier and subdivision surface. We need to add a hole in it. Because the hole starts somewhere here, it makes more sense to add an additional loop so that once we start cutting the hole, it doesn't start affecting the edges. So we create an additional loop to ensure that that doesn't happen. So Ctrl R to add a loop, click and drag it close to this place. We can alt-click to select the loop and move it closer. Select just these points and move them to define the shape of the hole. Be in face mode. Select the faces where the hole is. Hit F to feed them up. I to insert. This is the first level of insert. This first level of insert is to mark edges and ensure that the surface doesn't look too sharp after we delete to make the hole. I to insert again. This second level is for the actual hole. This is what we have now. X to delete, select faces. This is what we have. Tab to be in edit mode, then face mode. A to select everything. E to extrude, then push it back. We have this now. We no longer need the solidify modifier. Activate only the subdivision surface. It is looking a bit too rounded. So enter into edit mode, Ctrl R for loop cut, add a loop cut just in the middle, Ctrl B to bevel the loop, now the edges become sharper. Back to the fin, optimize it a bit more, X, then select dissolve edges. The upper fin doesn't really look like the lower fin, but because this is for a game, I am trying to optimize mesh count. While the fin are selected, go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to Center of Mass, Alt D to clone, R to rotate, then drag it up. Rotate and position it better. This is what we have now. We can use this for scene decoration. Select the fin, reactivate the solidify modifier, add a subdivision surface, add a bevel modifier, place the bevel above the subdivision surface. Increase the segment to 2. Select the top of the fin, select the bottom fin, Ctrl L, select copy modifier. Be in object mode, right click, select shade smooth. Select the body, add a subdivision surface. Increase its level to 2. Increase that of the fin too. Back to the body, be in object mode, right click, shade smooth. Add a bevel modifier, raise it above the subdivision surface, increase the segment to 2. Tab to enter into edit mode, Ctrl R to add a loop at the middle, then Ctrl B to bevel the loop. Use them to bring back the edges. This is what we have.